Joining us now on the Eagle Sports Zone is the one and only Olivia Shililifa, one of Namibia's upcoming cycling sensations, joining us here on the Eagle Sports Zone. Olivia, how are you doing today?
I'm blessed. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. So, before we get into your big win recently, let's start, from the very beginning. Introduce yourself, your age, where you're from, and how you got to where you are today.
Well, okay, guys. Hi, guys. Once again, my name is Olivia Shililifa, and I'm a professional cyclist. I started riding in 2019 through the Physically Active Youth. That's when my journey really started. So joining the Physically Active Youth, which is a school afternoon program that caters for sports and education, I finally found my way through there, and they gave me that platform to just do what I fell in love at this point to get. So yeah, 2019, that was when the dream was born. And when I really decided that I wanted to go pro was 7 months of starting. I was selected to go to SA, to ride for the, school MTB league in Brits. And that was when the dream was really born per se. So yes, I'm 23 years of age. Okay. And yeah, that is...
So when you say you're a professional cyclist, what exactly does that mean?
When I say I'm a professional athlete, cyclist rather, is I was once signed with a pro continental team, which is the Kenyan Shrimp generation. And it's just me personally saying that I'm taking it professionally. Like I would want to one day say I am getting and earning a salary from it one day. Yes.
That's we understand what you mean when you say that.
Exactly.
So recently, you won the MTN Kemani Road Classic. You won that, and I'm seeing it by almost 40 minutes ahead of second place.
Yes.
Tell us about that experience in Eswatini, and how you feel about bringing home the gold medal.
Well, that was an amazing race. I will not lie to you. And it was just by the grace of God. I had a really rough second half of the season. And I think this was just another way to say that, all hard work had to pay off sooner or later. And heading to Eswatini, it was a special win for me because I had to kind of just practice, do what I practice, what I always practice on training, and just bring it onto race mode. I wanted to try something different, and I think Eswatini just gave me that platform to do that.
Excellent. And so were you racing representing Namibia, or it was just an individual race?
Yeah, it was just an individual race, but obviously when the moment I step out of the country, that means I'm representing Namibia, I'm representing everyone back at home, and it's never all about me in the end. It's always about my country that I have to.
No, I definitely represented as well there. So I want to ask you about the growth of cycling in Namibia. In your view, how has the sport been growing since you started? And what do you foresee, or maybe what do you want to see out of this growth of cycling in Namibia?
One thing I can say is that it is growing, and I think we're headed in the right direction, and it's just becoming more competitive, which is great. I mean, it gives you more motive and more reason for you to train harder. And I think by the grace of God, I believe we are headed in the right direction, especially now that we have Roger Serene that won the world championship at junior level. I mean, he just stated that it is possible, and I'm a fan of that, and it just makes it more easier and to believe in yourself, that if you really believe in yourself and what you really want to do, I mean, it's possible. Through those heights.
Most definitely. Now, I want to also ask you about the training.
Yes.
Give us some insight into what does for the listeners that don't know, she cycled to the studio today. So give the listeners some insight into, the training life of a professional Namibian cyclist. What's your schedule like? How difficult is it?
It is really I won't lie, it's getting hectic, and it requires you to be both mentally and physically just aware of what you're doing. And like you said, I had to just do some hours today just to open up the legs for the weekend and stuff like that. But my hours are a bit bad, like they're crucial. Like when you go back home, it's that thing of like, oh, what did I do? Like, what am I doing? But it's those days when you do those long hours and brutal hours, or when you put in the work, these are the days that you come and celebrate and be like, oh, so the long hours that I put in was all for this big day and all that. Yes.
Yeah. So, this season, how has this season been for you? And, coming towards the end, but tell us how's your season been overall?
I would say I'm so fortunate and really, really blessed. I thank God so much because this was my first year elite. And so coming through with the elite, I was shocked. Yeah. But I mean, it was such a beautiful season, though somewhere, you get setbacks, but you don't always look at the setbacks. So you look at them as ways of how do I bounce back? And but I won't lie to you. This was one of the seasons that I really loved. I felt I was more in tune with myself. I felt like I had more time to really just channel through what I'm doing and just don't necessarily have to look at what other people are doing. I just focused on myself, and I try to do what I did or what I'm doing best through the grace of God. One thing I can always say is that God has been always a big part of my life, especially through with this journey, has always played a big role. And falling back to scriptures such as Jeremiah 29 verse 11 for me has been always, every time when I felt like I'm not moving, it always reminded me that He has a plan for me. And even when I didn't really achieve what I wanted to achieve, I think those scriptures, falling back on scriptures, always really motivated me to get back and just, get going, because in the end, it's not for my glory, but it's for His glory.
Most definitely. That's very important.
Yes.
And how was your we had the Tour de Windhoek this year. How was that experience for you?
Unfortunately, I couldn't really live through the Tour de Windhoek, but then for the first two stages, which was the prologue and the stage 1, it was really amazing because I spoke to my coach and I was like, Coach Jafet Amukushu, and he said, I think it's a nice way to see where we are at an African level before we try to aim for the European level. So for me, just having to see where I finished, especially finishing top 15 in the second stage, I think that was a big, I just saw the growth. And then unfortunately I couldn't finish the tour because I had a mechanic and that made me not complete my tour. It was sad, but those are the things that come with being a professional. We take both the good and the bad.
Exactly. And you're competing against cyclists, other African cyclists, but I know before that you've competed in other international competitions. Tell us about some of those experiences and how it is to compete against whether it's Africa's best or the world's best. What is that experience like? How do you see yourself compared to them?
Yes, I think for me that has always been a privilege for me, because having to be at the start line with a Diana from Rwanda, currently riding for the Kenyan Shrem, and my former teammates from Kenyan Shrem, I think has been always a blessing, because you look at yourself and you try to measure yourself, and if you can compete and finish with them, it means that, it should show that there is growth, you see. And I believe that we are headed in the right direction. It might look very slow, but definitely there is traction and there is progress. So it was a beautiful feeling just to start with the most amazing African woman, and it was we're not only participating, it's like everyone was literally competing, and it is like everyone was just bringing their best. So that was amazing for me. And yeah, it was really fun to just see them once again and, you know, experience that.
Yeah.
It was no influence from Europe or anything like that, but it was more of African, where it's like African best. So that is a nice way to say it.
Yeah, no, that's good to hear.
Yes.
What are some countries that you've gotten to see because of cycling? That's quite, okay. So I've been to France, Italy, Poland. I've been to Eswatini, South Africa. I've been to Botswana. I've been to, Austria. I've been to Germany. I've been, quite a lot. Full passport.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, with cycling, it really changed my life. And I mean, it's not even about the traveling, but it's just the amount of people that you get to meet in different countries, not even forgetting Ghana. It's amazing, amazing people. And all over the world, you get to experience people's cultures and you get to make a family. And that is the biggest, I think, outcome for me being in the sport. And yeah, that is what I can basically say about that.
Which one was your favorite?
Italy.
Is your favorite stuff? Yeah?
Italy. Till today, Italy. I will not lie to you. Italy is so beautiful, and just the racing, the terrain, the atmosphere, and as you're racing both like it's like kind of like Namibia where the desert meets the ocean, but a beautiful view. And it was just, the people were amazing. And unfortunately I didn't have pizza in Italy. I couldn't.
No pizza? Wow.
I didn't
Pasta?
try. I had pasta, but I didn't have pizza. I was racing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So one thing I want us to discuss, is, as the more I've been following cycling, the more I've seen or experienced that, it's an expensive sport. It's not a cheap sport.
Yeah.
And, not all, participants have access to the same, equipment or resources. So I want you to touch on, like, I don't know if we can call it an issue in the sport, but the fact that this exists in the sport, how expensive of a sport it is to enter. And then, once you do enter, some teams still have, better equipment than others and things like that. How does that, impact you?
How does that impact me? I came from the physically active youth, where we were.
Oh, did you actually?
Yes, I was a participant.
Yeah.
So we had the most amazing equipment, but not the best also. But one thing that my coach always told us that you use what you're given. If you're given that at the moment, we were always taught never to complain about the equipment and rather just ride your bike, because the more you ride your bike, the more people get to see you. And if there's always going to be someone that will be genuine enough to come and help you if they see they need to help you. You get. So for us, I really came from that atmosphere where we never complain what you're given. You use what you're given and just to use it to your best capabilities. And so for me, it's true. The equipment the sport is quite expensive, but I was blessed and so fortunate enough to have the right people in my corner, such as like Simo, that is currently my sponsors, my biggest supporter, which is my mom. She just she lays it down and just like puts it down. Like, I don't know how much my mom spent in the sport just for me. But honestly, those are the people that I can say truly. And there's so many more. Like even my coach, he broke his bank just to, when we come from training, when he sees, cause a lot of us, or most of my teammates, come from disadvantaged backgrounds. So coming from a 4 or 5 hour ride and you're looking like you're starving, and going back home, there's nothing to go eat because you have to, you have to save the bread for the little one you get. So he will break his bank just to go buy us just chips or like, bread and cold drink. And that makes so much a difference. And as much as it's so sad probably to the next person looking in, I'm telling you, we had the most, we had fun
Yeah.
because we came in as a family and we had a goal, and we still have the goal, and saying that we don't look at equipment or we don't look at what we don't have. We use what we have. And if it gets us to a certain level, it gets us to that certain level. And that is how we basically live. And, I mean, we just shout out to all the people that have been in my corner just to support me, physically, spiritually, and all this one.
Yeah, well, definitely. It's very important to get, support you can in any way, shape or form.
Yes.
So when you say you're part of the CYMO team, tell the listeners what exactly does that mean?
CYMO has a racing team and they sponsor us. So there are two teams. So we have the female team and then the male team. So, when I'm part of the CYMO team, I just mean that CYMO for the season, for the 2025 season, have signed me, to be part of their racing team in Namibia.
Okay, and how many teammates do you have?
I have 4.
Yeah.
Yes, I have 4 teammates.
What's your biggest goal in like your cycling career? What are you most eager to achieve in the sport of cycling?
My biggest goal will be Olympics.
Yeah. You're aiming for 2028?
Yes, I am aiming for the 2028 LA Olympics. I am so fired up.
Yeah.
And I just, it's just getting louder and louder. And, I used to be so afraid of like really telling people what my dreams are. But I think it's about time that I face that fear and just start, focusing on that. I already call myself an Olympian.
Yeah.
I'm a future Olympian.
Exactly.
So I'm manifesting it into existing.
Now, will that be for the road?
Yes, for the road.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, no, we'll definitely, like to see that. And so, will you be in the junior ones also coming up is that Senegal, I believe?
I'm not really quite sure with that now.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure. So, yeah.
So, recently I got to attend, UCI Road World Championships.
Yeah. How was that?
It was a good experience. It was a good experience. Good to see, the world's best cyclists and so on.
Yeah.
Like the likes of Tadej and all that.
Yeah, that's nice.
But, one thing that was, quite, you couldn't really avoid is the difference in, skill level, but also equipment. A lot of people are talking about this between the African cyclists and the European cyclists.
Yeah.
Obviously cycling is growing, on the continent, but still there's this like very big,
there's a gap
between.
It's like 20 years. My coach says it's like a 20-year gap.
Okay. Firstly, what do you think about the growth of cycling on the continent, and, what are your thoughts on that gap, and what needs to be done or can be done to close that gap?
I think, there's so much that has to be done. First, we as athletes already have to realize that. Personally, just to say that, I think we just have to change our mindset, first of all. And then once we change our mindset, probably we can now then start, if we come together, such as, it's a great example that Rwanda hosted the first UCI World Championship. And it's like, that was never to be seen of, thinking about it years ago. So it's a dream come true that Africa is actually getting that momentum or picking up in that. But I feel we are, like I said, we are headed in the right direction. I feel by the time we are older, I think it will be, the foundation will be properly laid. And I don't think it's gonna be the last. I don't really think it's gonna be the last.
No, I definitely think it will happen more often now.
I think.
Okay. So, we were talking about the, Rwanda hosting the UCI Road Championships, you were saying?
Yeah, I feel like it's definitely, I don't think it's gonna be the last time that we get the World Championship. I'm just saying my personal opinion. Cause I just feel like we're headed in the right direction, especially in the female sports. We are growing, and I know a lot of people say, the female don't have, but I feel like we have so much traction. I feel like it's more interesting to watch the female, although like it's nice to watch both races. But I think there is traction, and it's gonna be good in the future for us, I think.
Yeah. So, what's the peak age for cyclists? Like, what are the peak years?
Everyone, like, that question is like more of like, oh, so when are you thinking of like quitting or like?
No, because you were saying in your answer, you're saying, in the future it's gonna get better. So I was like, do you see yourself part of that future or?
Yes, definitely. I would really love to see myself in the future, hopefully, by the grace of God also. And yeah, I mean, if that is the direction that God wants me to go, I would really love to. And, yeah, I think a lot of people say by 40.
40? Yeah.
40. But you still find women that are going beyond that, but not probably professional, but probably professional ends at 40-ish there. Because I still know one or two professionals that are at 40.
Yeah, there was the oldest person at the Worlds was, I think they said 39.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it was a South African woman.
Yeah. Maybe Ashley.
Could be.
Yeah, I'm not really sure how old she is, but yeah.
Who's your favorite cyclist, whether pro or even amateur?
Oh my God. I'm looking at Kim Lockhart. She's someone that really inspires me. Kim Lockhart, and she recently won the yellow jersey at the Tour de Famous. So yeah, Kim Lockhart has been always someone that I looked up to, and then our Namibian favorite, Vera Losa, she's also someone that I look up to. And just me seeing her transitioning from the road to the mountain and still be able to perform at that level, it just shows that, sometimes rebranding is also quite important. And I mean, like, she just showed me that, I mean, if you still love doing what you love, I mean, all you just need to do is just perfect it and just keep going and keep doing what you love the most. But last but not least is Cassia from Kenyan Shrimp. Yeah, she's also someone that I really look up to.
Yeah, no, the women are doing well in cycling, especially the African women.
Yeah.
So what, share with the listeners why do you love cycling? Like, what is it about cycling that's just
so
your
funny
favorite
thing is, someone asked me that yesterday, and I actually had to go back in archive. And the reason why I started cycling was 2018. I lost my dad, and when I lost my dad, I didn't have a sense of direction or sense of purpose, if I could put it in that way. And funny thing, or fortunately for me, or blessed I am to say, everything came or aligned so perfectly, because that's the same time I was accepted at the physically active youth. And that was also the same year that the cycling was founded. Like my coach, Jafeta Makushi, came to the center just to give back, and that's when he wanted to start the whole team. He wanted to have his own team, and I always say thank you to Marathon, because without Marathon, I would not be the rider that I am. Marathon Sugar. And so Marathon came on board, sponsored us, and that's when the dream really, really began. So at that point, I felt like cycling was the only thing that I could channel my hurt and just transfer everything that I couldn't really express, because I was so lost. I didn't know what to do with my life at that point. I couldn't find, or I didn't see any value in myself. And when I started seeing challenges that cycling that I went through basically with cycling, it just helped me channel so much, and it made me feel like, oh, maybe I have a sense of purpose, maybe there is direction, maybe, God has a plan for me. And that was where everything began, honestly. So
thank you for sharing that with us.
You're welcome.
Tell us about physically active youth. I've interviewed a few of the kids in physically active youth at different races I've been to.
Okay.
So, but as a former physically active youth member yourself, tell us what it is. What do you guys do? How it started? How can people join and so on?
Yeah, so basically, like I said, physically active youth is an afternoon school program that caters for privileged, not so privileged kids, and it's just it's a program that is meant to just help, especially through sports and education. And how you can get there is always you can go to the Katuturet Youth Center and apply. Usually they do or take application forms from October, and when I say October, like the 1st of October, as in like yesterday. So it's quite a big thing. I mean, it changed my life, not only with the cycling, but, they teach us life skills. They're very big on life skills, and they also just advocate so much of, self-awareness, who you are, your identity, and, they focus so much on like, as a Namibian child, I believe that is so important, because if you miss this crucial age of not really knowing yourself, it becomes really hard to just, figure yourself out when you're at that side, and that's when you start going crazy, or I don't want to say crazy, but, just, you don't really have a sense of direction or purpose. So with that, they help you focus and just find, what are you good at? What do you want to do? Who do you want to be in life? Do you get? And I think that is the biggest, or has been the biggest, blessing for me, having to also just go there, because without them, they made us practice public speaking. They must, all this funny, not funny, sorry, but they made us, they trained us so well, how to treat yourself, how to treat someone else in public, how to be, just a normal, beautiful, amazing Namibian citizen.
Yeah, exactly.
That is doing well for the economy.
100%. And how long can a person be part of physically active youth?
No, I mean, I know, the former ones, they start off like at, grade 1 till grade 12.
Grade 1 already?
Yeah,
Okay.
So it depends where you are, and
When did you join?
I joined when I was 17 years old, so I only had 2 years.
Okay,
that was like grade 11, so I only spent 2 years there, 2 to 3 years. But obviously we visit back, and we go back and say hi, pop up, and because pay is home.
Exactly.
Pay is boss.
No, it sounds like I'm glad that such a program exists. I always see them at the
it's quite great.
What's been the biggest challenge so far in your cycling career?
To be honest, just having the mental sometimes gets to you, to be honest. Mentally, as when I speak about mental, as when you feel like you didn't achieve something or a certain goal that you set for yourself, and then you feel like, you didn't achieve it, and then it's like you have to bounce back. But like I always said, I have the right people, like my coach, my mom, and all the other people that, that are always praying for me. And with that, you look at that and you look at what people are doing in your life, and it just gives you that motivation to say that, hey, I'm not alone,
Exactly.
I'm not alone. I have people that actually care. And that's how I bounce back. And my biggest blessing is knowing God also. So like I said earlier, falling back on the scriptures when I get into those days.
Exactly. What's been the longest race you've done in your career?
Oh, it was a tour. That was in Europe.
Yeah.
That was Europe. I would love to say in Poland. It was so long that I was, I think, the last one to finish, and it took me like, I think 5 or 6 hours.
Nice.
Yeah. And at that time I was like, my European season was so learning. I had to learn a lot from it, but I mean, it made me who I am. I won't even lie.
So do you participate in the European season every year?
No, I only went to Europe when I was signed to my former team, which was the Kenyan Shrimp Generation team. So that was the time I went there.
How did the Kenyan team find you?
Oh, till today, I wouldn't even know how exactly, but I was just contacted. They sent me an email. And funny thing about that, hey, before they even contact me, my coach was like, you guys have to, I always tell this story because it's it's part of my story, because when we started, we didn't have professional, because obviously that was the time Instagram's, like, I got hooked onto Instagram, and I had this, because I was still like in school, and I was just thinking like Instagram is for the like when you're going out and stuff like that. But then I had to close down one of my accounts and just get into a professional one. Like get into a professional one, and then he told us, no, you guys have to make a professional account where you put your email. And that was the time when I also got hooked on the email thing, and I started posting. I was doing my mini updates, the race updates, and all that. And they emailed me through, I think they saw maybe my email address on my, cause that was also the time I won the under 23 jersey. So maybe that was why also they saw, cause it was more focused on under 23 and elite.
Okay.
And then they contacted me.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. And the East Africans, they're doing so well. And you know, Team Amani, those guys also.
Yes, they are.
What's the difference between riding in Europe and here? What would you say is the biggest difference?
The biggest difference is the intensity. Like, I would say Namibia is getting there, because it's also really hard to race in Namibia, but also it's just a different form of racing. As those guys, they are so aggressive from the word go. Like, when I say aggressive, is we are in neutral start, but it felt already like we are racing. And by the time neutral start ends, you were so worn out that you are unable to even race, because it's like crazy. It's like they're so aggressive, like super aggressive.
And like terrain wise, what's the difference, and which one do you prefer?
I think a lot of people will say, no, Europe has more altitude, but I feel like Namibia has more altitude, because when we used to train in Girona, yes, there are climbs that we don't have here, like more technical climbs and stuff like that. But I would say it's harder in Namibia than in Europe, to be honest. Like, it's just that someone will look at it like, oh, the climbs, we don't have longer climbs, so why don't you say Europe? But I would say training in Namibia is hard, guys. It's hard. It's so hard compared to the other side. Oh, it's just that we are not blessed with longer climbs or technical climbs, I would say. But I think it's way harder than in Europe.
And with the heat as well.
Exactly. But with all that, we get used to the heat, the weather, everything. We just get used to it. So it doesn't really become, like I was always told that you would want to train yourself in worse conditions, so that when the race comes, it's easier for you, because everyone else will be complaining, but you'll be like, okay, I've been training here, so it's easier for me. So
so do you do road and mountain, or just road?
I do both. I'm also currently trying to tap into the gravel, because I've seen, it's really exciting. I really love the Commerce. I enjoyed myself at the Commerce 100. And I think gravel is something that you guys should be looking out for me. Like,
which one do you prefer?
Road, definitely.
Road?
Road. I'm a roadie.
So, what are your, before I ask this one, have you had any bad crashes in your career?
No, I don't even want to think about it. I had just minor ones, just like falling on the road and just like, but it's something that you always scared about.
I can imagine. On the bike, everyone is so close together.
Exactly. Especially with the road bike. I think, okay, from both disciplines, and anything can be worse. So,
Okay, my last question for you is, tell me about the Namibian Cycling Federation. What's your relationship with them? What are your thoughts on them?
Well, I find it that the Namibian Cycling Federation is a very supportive, federation. It supports me and with the other people as well. So it's quite, I love the leadership, and I see that the traction that they're putting or giving and just what they're providing to us athletes, because these are the things that you look at other countries, they tell you what what is happening in their federation, and you're like, but this is with us, it's like this, and it's like, it's way better. And I think we are very, very fortunate to have a team, that is really dedicated to, just seeing the development and the growth in us, and just wanting to see the best of us. So I think I truly believe that it's a nice way, it's a nice thing that is currently leading. And yeah.
Now, lastly, before I let you go today, what's anything you would say to people out there that aren't into the sport of cycling yet, especially girls or women? Why should they get into cycling?
I mean, first, honestly, I would want to tell them, if you're gonna get into cycling, you should really, really think about it. Like, it's not even just about getting on the bike. It's about the mental, the physical, everything about it. But if you are into the sport, it's amazing. Trust me, once you get on the bike, you'll never put the bike down. Whether it's just casual riding,
it's true.
He got himself a bike as well. So I think it's just the coffee dates, the rides. You get to meet a lot of people, and I think that has been the most amazing part of my life. Just getting to meet different people, different cultures, and just getting involved with everyone and just trying to have that fine or just amazing atmosphere. Yeah.
A lot of people ask me when you're doing these long rides, like what do you think about on the bike? What do you answer to that when people say, what do you think about on the bike for 3, 4, 5 hours?
Yeah, like I have my training partner likes training with music, and for me that doesn't work.
Really?
No, I don't like training with music. I think it's just something it grew with me. Not only about the safety, but I think for me it's just that I like listening to myself. I like the thoughts, and just sometimes you just zone out. Hey, like you don't even think anything. Like you just zoned out and you just focused on what you need to accomplish. But there are just those days when you're just randomly thinking about like weird stuff, like what are you going to eat? Like what are you going to do after training? And just human basic stuff. Yeah. But yeah, it's quite, if you have a large group, it's quite fun because then it kind of gets you to not think about what is happening at home because you're so tuned in with conversating. If you're not dead by then, if you're not dead, but it helps you tune in with others, and you get to also, like I say, you get to socialize, and you just get to experience what other people are, what other people are going through, and you have amazing conversations with them.
What's been your favorite cycling experience so far?
I think, I'm not sure if, they still that race. There used to be this race called, the 3 Passes. Hey. That race was so amazing. It's like, we didn't do it like from a racing point, but it was more like, like the long ride. It's a mountain bike race. And I won't lie to you. That was so, we drove from Kufferberg into there's the Roysand. There's a camp there, I don't know, something called Roysand. And I mean, just riding from here to Roysand was such an amazing. And that time I was with my former teammate Ashanti August. I started with her cycling, and we were like with the Raju and Simon Kaita. Those are the people we started the whole team. I started with them riding. So riding with them, it was a great experience with my 2 coaches, Coach Fifi, and Coach Jafet Amukushu. It was such a beautiful experience because we ended up doing we did the pass, the Kufferberg pass or something like this, the pass along there. And I would not lie to you. That was, until today, that whole trip, I never forget about it because it's so amazing. To be honest, there have been other amazing ones, but this one was top.
No, that's good. That's good. That's good to hear.
Yes.
I would like to, now that you described it, I also want to do that also one day.
Yeah, I don't know if it happens still, but maybe it does, but I'm not really sure. I haven't heard of it like maybe for the past 2 years or so.
So, tell the listeners about, I don't know if that's something you like, but people do, like bike camping now.
Yes.
Is that something you do as well?
I don't do it because I'm scared of the snakes. but I love, through, I'm not sure if, I believe you know Dan Craven. Yeah, through Nguza, Dan always loves, he always invites me to his bike camping, and like, he made me kind of lose my fear, because he doesn't really go to also like just open, like it's quite nice places that I set up. So Dan really exposed me to the whole bike packing. That would really shout out to him because hey, I always think about the snakes, but the places that he chooses, like so amazing, beautiful places, that, we get to go to, and we just camp there and then we do some shoots with the Nguza bike. And I mean, it's always fun with him because I believe he's one of the best, bike packers in,
yeah, I mean, he was one of our like best cyclists. Period.
Exactly. So I feel like he has more knowledge on those like the bike packing. So I really love going out. I trust him on that bike packing.
No doubt. Okay, my last question for you, I promise, is talk to us about the Desert Dash. Tell us your experience with the famous Desert Dash.
Oh, the famous Desert Dash, yo. See, I love the Dash because it's not only about the racing, but it starts already with the training. I like my coach always told us, like, if you're not in tune with your teammate, Dash is gonna be gonna be a long day for you. It's gonna be long because you already have to start training how you guys are communicating. How would you communicate? The foundation needs to be laid up already. So if you guys are not training on that, it's gonna be hard. Like, you need to know what are your partner's strengths, what are your partner's weakness, because with Dash, it will test you. My brother, it will test you. I won't even lie to you. It will test you. But it becomes, when you cross that line and having to cross it with the people I call home, I know we've been close to winning it, hopefully one day. But I mean, like, we have traction with Simon and Marwan Cleopas. They won it last year, or they came third last year. So, I mean, that's just to show us that, we are close.
We're getting there.
We're getting there. Yeah. But I'm just saying it's amazing. It's an amazing race, and it's something that would really, really challenge you, not only physically, but, your relationship with the next person. How do you communicate when you're under pressure? And that's why I love it so much, because it's, how do you communicate? How do you respond to pressure, or how do you handle pressure mostly? And in those, when things are not going right for you, how do you overcome that? How do you, all those setbacks and challenges that Dash will throw, whether it's technical, mechanical, or anything, or like even physical, if your partner starts not feeling well, because you get that a lot. And if the weather starts getting in the way, or your teammate, how do you guys overcome that? And that's the beauty and the most amazing thing about Dash.
So you've always done it as a foreman?
Yeah, I've always done it as a foreman.
Yeah.
I've always done it as a foreman, yeah.
As a foreman, you cycle how many kilometers?
In total, I think we do 150, 160, because if you have 80, if my math is right, if you're doing the other stage, which is 80, and then like the last 50 is like probably 130, 150, yeah.
So each does 130?
Yeah, like each person does 130.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Olivia, thank you very much for your time. Unless there's anything else you want to say to the listeners before I let you go today?
Yes, I would love to just say thank you to my sponsors. That is also in regards to the MTN Kamani. Without those people, I would not be where I am, especially the sports commission, our Namibian Sports Commission. They helped us so much with the transport getting to MTN. I had Mr. Rifangwai. He's a cyclist, and he also helped me. It was a self-funded race, but then, with all these people, I had people that also just came about just to say, hey, we're looking at you, and we're supporting you. and obviously my mother.
Yes.
My mother,
yeah.
Monica Ilonga. Like, I shout out to her that, she did so much. And there's another group, there's another sponsor that helped us, which is the Track Holding Group. It's a construction group, and they really came on board to just get us that side. And then last but not least, obviously, the Namibian Cycling Federation and Simon.
Of course. And where can the people follow you?
On Facebook, Instagram is just Olivia Shililifa _cycling. Yeah.
Most definitely. Thank you very much for your time, Olivia, and best of luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you. This was amazing.
You are now tuned in to the Eagle Sports Zone.